What do you think of the parents that kick their kids out as soon as they have turned 18 years old?
I was kicked out at 16 and again at 18. My mother had no ambitions for work and decided the low to zero income way of life was a good choice to raise 3 kids. Addictions and mental disorders, of course. Anyhow, she demanded $500 per month from me while I was in high school. At the time, a full-time job at minimum wage would net you about $300 bi-weekly. Needless to say, I first had to drop out of school to work full-time to pay her that. Eventually, I got back into school, cut back on, and quit jobs until I was part-time and could actually attend school. This caused money to stop coming in. This caused her to be angry. This caused me to become homeless. So now when she asks for help or simply wants to talk to me, and I don't reply, well, there you go. There were many other things involved, but if you are a dick to your kids, they will be a dick to you when they are adults. Rightfully so. Yes, I am now a parent, and no, under no circumstances would I do what she did. Story 2. My roommate was kicked out of his house by his mom when he was 18 by being driven to a gas station a fair distance away and just left there. On his birthday. He found a way home to find all his stuff on the lawn, the locks on the doors changed, the doorbell disabled, all the blinds and stuff closed. Mother hiding within. He lived with his dad long enough to afford his own place and pieced out. Years later, he gets a text from his mom who found his number by asking around. Basically said, "Hello, is this Jim? It's your mom, just wanted to catch up." And the ice-cold mother fudger responds with, "I don't know. If you're looking for him, maybe check the gas station where you last saw him. Maybe he's still there." And that was the last thing he said, lol. Apparently she was all pissed off and tried to get at him through his dad. But the dad was like, "You dumped him off at a fudging gas station, you psychopath. How do you think he would feel about you?" And just stonewalled her. He didn't appear too fucked up over it, but I think it left its marks. He moved around a lot, never bought himself a lot of stuff because he said he likes to keep it light so he can up and be gone in an hour kind of thing. Which he did. When he moved out, he basically packed a large suitcase and a knapsack and was on the bus to the next place. Story 3. I have a sister, in and out of jail, 2 kids by 18, another 2 kids by 30, another 2 kids by 35. She only has custody of the youngest 2. The first 2 kids, now 17 and 18, have recently moved back with her the past few years, but are still legally under the custody of their grandma. She forces the 2 older kids to watch the 2 babies every single day. She's either always out or sleeping like a dead body. Drinks, does drugs, runs the gamut while her 2 older kids have to sacrifice their youth to raise these 2 kids we all warned her she wasn't in a position to have. She had the 2 kids to hopefully keep her married boyfriend. The first time it didn't work, so she decided to double down. Anyway, I can go on about her, but the point is, she asked her oldest son the other day, "I'm always helping people and they're so ungrateful. Do you have any idea what that feels like?" He just glared at her. I know most situations are the children being indebted to their parents for all the years of care and sacrifice they made for their children, but I have never seen a situation where the mother owes her children more than they owe her. Story 4. My parents are foster parents. They're my bio parents, but they've been doing foster care all my 30 years of life, and they don't kick out the foster kids when they turn 18. When Children's Aid stops supporting them, usually at 18, my parents step up and help the kids until they can comfortably move out or until they want to. They have a 25-year-old still living with them because she fears abandonment, and my parents don't want her to leave Lowell. They love each other. My parents helped out over 20 kids throughout my life to try to become successful human beings, no matter how long it takes. Many of them are still in contact with us. We took them in and loved them. How can parents who raise their own children kick them out just because they reached adult status? I just don't get it, lol. Story 5. It's their right, but I disagree with it. I was kicked out the day I turned 17. I lived out of my car for 3 months while working fast food and completing my senior year. I would have probably dropped out had it not been for my best friend's dad. He found out about the situation and forced me to move in with them. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He had recently got divorced because his stay-at-home wife was cheating on him. Because they had a spare bedroom and I was friends with both his sons that lived with him, he told me, "It's just us guys living there and having fun. You stay until you finish school. After that, you can pay $100 a month in rent until you decide what to do. Don't argue with me." The man's a saint. I wouldn't have been able to keep going to school without him, and he knew it. He's a guy who had to drop out to work back in the day to support his family. He got his GED and clawed his way up to head engineer at a factory so he could afford a nice home for his wife and kids. He bought a nice 2-story home that he barely got to stay in for a woman who didn't appreciate him. The man even came home every single day and cooked meals for us to make sure we'd eat. In the middle of fighting a divorce, trying to get custody of both of his kids and keep the house he paid for, he took me in, adding to the stress. He did that for me just because I was friends with his sons. If I ever get rich, that man is getting an early retirement and a comfortable home wherever he chooses. If that man can do all that for someone that isn't his child, parents have no excuse for not helping their own kids out.